hour.
News360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Coming up, National Labour Commission to summon organised labour on its intended strike. Tonight, we'll look at how government can avoid a shutdown of its business.
President Akufo-Addo begins nationwide thank you tour as he brings his term to an end. We take you to his first port of call where he reposed confidence in Dr. Bawumia to continue his legacy.
Also coming up, Attorney General Godfrey Adami calls for swift completion of investigations of innocent persons.
Coming up in business news, Ghana's inflation rate jumps to 21.5% in September, raising concerns over central bank's forecast of slowing price growth by the end of the year.
And on the international front, dozens feared dead in Nigeria after a boat capsized.
We have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
And we start from the big story from yesterday, where organised labour declared a nationwide strike effective 10th October. Now, the National Labour Commission is to summon organised labour on its intended strike. According to the National Labour Commission, it will meet labour before the 10th of October 2024. Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission, Ofosu Asamoah, spoke with our labour correspondent Daniel Opoku in Accra.
24 hours after organised labour declared strike, government is here to engage the leadership to prevent the strike. Labour has intended to strike, demanding that government bans all activities of small-scale mining and galamsey. The National Labour Commission has intervened to engage labour and government to forestall the strike. The Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission, Ofosu Asamoah, says the Commission will invite aggrieved parties before October 10.
We expect them, but we are not waiting. That is why I'm saying that the commissioners went on recess. Today is their first day of convening, and it's one of the things that they are going to consider. Because if we have to wait till the 10th day and they don't write to us and they go on strike, what happens? Yes, then that will, yes, it will be late for us to have made any proper intervention, because at least if the union should strike for 1 day, that's a great loss to government and to everybody.
Ofosu Asamoah was also concerned about how illegal mining has destroyed water bodies and forest lands. He criticized the chiefs and other community leaders for allowing the illegal mining to fester. He was of the view that a discussion between government and organised labour before the Labour Commission will address the problem.
It is not when people want to blame politicians, government politicians. Politicians, they sit in the ministries here. But the villages where it's going on, the farmland don't people go to farm? Don't they see their lands being destroyed? Don't they see when the excavators move from Accra to Kede, tell me how many police checkpoints you will see. And where are the excavators? Do they ask questions? The police, the several barriers. When you cross here, you go to Aduajiri, there is one. In Sanwem, Adeso, Asamankesi, there are about 4. Before you get to Kedi and all that, you see them all on the road. Do they question where the excavators are going?
Right, so on this subject matter, let's engage a labour consultant, Austin Game, who has joined us on phone. Mr. Game, very good evening to you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, my brother.
Right, to start with, how much of an impact do you believe that labour, the Labour Commission, can have in convincing organised labour to rescind its decision?
Thank you. Well, it's obvious that National Labour Commission do not have a locus in this matter. They don't have a mandate. They are not supposed to be dealing with matters which is a preserve of the presidency and all cabinets. This is not a decision that they can take. And therefore, I think it's a misplaced priority they are trying to impose upon themselves. So you can just ignore it because it won't work. They don't have a mandate. They cannot direct. Labour Commission cannot direct the president to ban illegal mining and so forth and so on. I agree with him that the devastation of the strike action will be quite telling on the nation. That I agree. And that is the reason why we have elected a president. He is to make a decision and a determination in this matter, and not the National Labour Commission. This is not about salary increments.
Right, and that was the part where many thought that their locus mainly focuses just on salary increment and, conditions of service, etc. But we also do know that a few weeks ago, a few months maybe, Labour recently compelled government to back down on the SNIT sale. Do you believe that based on that kind of pressure they put on government, they will be able to get government to declare a state of emergency?
And that issue was about their own welfare. It's about their future. It's about their pension. And pension is part of the condition of service. And if the employer government is not answering their call, they have every right to protest. And that's exactly what they did at the time. That in part, Labour Commission could have rather invited them for a discussion, but it was even beyond them, because it's about board of directors and beyond the board of directors, the government and indeed the presidency. That's why the decision was taken at that level and not at Labour Commission level. In fact, Labour Commission cannot form part of the team that wrote the Labour Act. We didn't give them that authorization.
And Mr. Game, a few people are still unaware of the power of organized labor. So maybe as a labor consultant yourself, if you can paint a picture for us, what kind of consequence would government face or the country face if organized labor decide to go ahead with their strike?
Yeah, for the first time in the history, if you like, of the entire world, we created and framed specially. Originally, even TUC did not even see eye to eye with some of us who put the thing together. But I think later they've seen wisdom in it. We have created organized labor as a special vehicle where we created in the entire world. Ghana is the only place where we have a national tripartite committee where you can go and sit with organized labor, and that means beyond just those who are affiliated to TUC, you get other labor unions together with TUC. They all come together to form organized labor. They meet employers, they meet government at a national tripartite level. And under Section 113, they can even talk about this matter. Indeed, the government has not been very proactive. Otherwise, the Minister of Employment and Labor Relations should have called a national tripartite committee and come under Section 113, subsection B and C, to enable them to have a conversation, not a positional kind of arrangement where government is say we are taking a position on Galamsey because it's creating employment, because it's generating for us about 40% of income, and therefore there's nothing we can do about it. You do that, you do it at your own peril. Right. What they have to do is to have an industrial relations kind of engagement so that they can all come under a common, understanding and have a shared solution to this problem. Right. They didn't do. National Labour Commission cannot be an answer to it.
Thank you so much for your time this evening. Austin Gama is a labor consultant sharing his thoughts on the impending strike, which should kick in if government does nothing on the 10th of August.
In more news tonight, the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame has called for a swift completion of investigations into Democracy Hub protesters under prosecution to enable the discharge of innocent persons. The AG noted that the legitimacy of concerns raised during the protest must not infringe on the rights of freedom of movement or safety of security officers. A report by Lord Idwasari.
In his address, The Attorney General, Godfrey Wadame, highlighted that over 140 cases involving 850 accused persons in illegal mining cases in courts across the country were yet to be concluded due to the slow pace of justice. He prayed the Chief Justice to help resolve the situation.
Right. We are in urgent national crisis, and all citizens and institutions with any form of role to play must be called upon to act. Your leadership, I therefore respectfully call on you to direct all judges sitting on Galamsey cases to conclude the cases, the hearing of which has started within 1 month from the commencement of the legal year on 10th October 2024. Reasonably, it can be done.
Citing the issue of Democracy Hub protesters charged for misdemeanors during the 3-day protest, Godfrey Wadame warned that persons who breached the peace and exceeded the limits of free expression will face the rigors of the law. He also urged the police to expedite the investigations and release protesters who are innocent.
There are attempts to create tensions and instill fear into people through demonstrations, which in some cases are a ruse for mounting an attack on the security forces of our nation and disrupting the running of essential services, essential public services. This, with the greatest respect, is not countenance in any democracy. I urge the police service to swiftly conclude investigations by the next agenda date of the cases involving the prosecution of excesses for recent protests in Accra, so as to exclude by that date all those against whom sufficient evidence cannot be found to proceed further. I also advise the prosecution to consider relevant bail applications at the next agenda date of the cases.
Responding to the AG's appeal, Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu indicated that the prosecution had to shoulder the blame for the delays. She, however, cautioned judges against needless adjournments.
The Office of the Chief Justice receives petitions about delays through unending adjournments of cases. I wish to implore judges to do away completely with the model of fixing cases, quote, for mention, unquote. No matter how tall a cause list is, my sincere view is that with the inclusion of witness statements as a necessary part of the trial process in both civil and criminal cases, there's no need for a court to adjourn a case after the case management conferences for mention. On the issue of delays in Galamsey cases, the Attorney General will acknowledge that our engagements have shown that the delays often come from the work of prosecutors.
Themed improving the security and welfare of the judiciary for effective justice delivery, the annual conference of the Association of Magistrates and Judges serves as a precedent to the new legal year. Lodi Dwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
The Health Ministry has handed over the case of alleged medical misconduct at the Trauma and Specialist Hospital to the Criminal Investigations Department and the Attorney General's Department. According to the ministry in a statement posted on its Facebook page, this decision follows investigations by the Ghana Health Service, which concluded that the employees identified as having contributed to the planning and evacuation of the patient from the hospital to Ojobi, where she was abandoned until her death, did not act appropriately. The committee also recommended that the said staff be sanctioned by the Ghana Health Service through internal disciplinary procedures. The ministry, however, is of the view that in light of the gravity of the issue captured in the report involving the loss of life, further investigations should be carried out by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Consequently, the Ministry of Health has requested the assistance of the AG to initiate an investigation into the case to determine the culpability or otherwise of the affected staff and take any further action deemed appropriate. You will recall in June this year, a patient who was on admission at the Trauma Specialist Hospital at Winneba was discharged and abandoned in a bush where she died a few days later. The incident attracted wide condemnation amid calls for action to be taken against the staff of the hospital. The Ministry of Health set up a 6-member committee to investigate this issue. Let's speak to the Public Relations Officer at the Ministry of Health, Mr. Isaac Ofei. Mr. Ofei, thank you so much for your time. First of all, what can you tell us about the conduct of the health professionals?
Yes, so good evening and good evening to your cherished viewers. What we can say is that per the report that we've received from the committee that was set up by the Ghana Health Service, submitted to the Ministry of Health. There are issues that are seriously beyond the management of the Ministry of Health or the sanctions that are attached to such offenses. And so the only mandatory agencies or ministries that are supposed to take charge is the Ghana Police Service or the Attorney General's Department. Both civil and criminal cases that are attached in this are contained in this report. Now, when you look at the page 9 of the report, it identifies some officials that their conduct regarding this whole exercise is unfair, and we cannot say it's negligent or whatsoever, except that the labor procedures that will lead to the punishment of such attitudes are exhausted. And that is why the minister, the chief director, Alhaji Hafiz Adams, the Honorable Minister, Honorable Dr. Bernard Okuboy, have directed that the issue be reported to the CID department for them to look into the criminality aspect of it, and then the AG to persecute as a result of the outcome of the investigation. And then further, the Ghana Health Service is also cautioned to ensure that the disciplinary actions that are attached to misconduct and negligence of such professions are also sanctions on the affected health professionals. And so it's on this prefix that the ministry decided to issue this statement, so the general public will know that the ministry distanced itself from the actions of such practices and is sounding cautions to other health professionals to be mindful of their actions. And this will also serve as a deterrent to others who, one way or the other, may find themselves committed in such negligence act.
Now, Mr. Ofe, these health professionals, are they still at post?
Yes, before the committee commenced, most of them were interdicted. I can't say all of them were interdicted. Most of them are on interdiction. And those that the committee have found capable are going to face the disciplinary committee. They will be given the chance to explain themselves, to defend themselves as the labor law requires, and per the regulations of the law, they will be dealt with. If those that are supposed to be dismissed will be dismissed. Those that are supposed to be suspended will be suspended.
Thank you so much for your time. And Mr. Isaac Ofe is the Public Relations Officer at the Ministry of Health.
Now, if you're a man, you might want to pay attention to this particular story. It's very important. Or if you know a man, call him to watch this. It is the second leading cause of cancer death among men in Ghana, with 1 out of every 3 men over 40 years being at risk. Limited awareness and high cost of treatment continues to affect prostate cancer care in Ghana. Stakeholders at the maiden National Prostate Cancer Dialogue reiterated the need for treatment to be captured on the NHIS to reduce the cost burden on patients.
Prostate cancer can occur in any man aged 40 years and above, but factors such as age, family history and race influence one's chances of developing the condition. In 2022, Ghana recorded 27,000 new cancer cases, out of which more than 2,300 were prostate cancer. Data also suggests that only 20% of men over 40 have had a prostate cancer screening, while 60% of cases are often presented at advanced stages. Although Ghana is classified as one of the countries with the highest incidence rate of prostate cancer in West Africa, national health policies do not prioritize prostate cancer, and the challenges hindering progress in prostate care are significant. There are less than 100 urology specialists in the country, influencing treatment gaps at the district and regional level.
You remember in 2005, the 3 urologists who died. Yes, we're only about 14 urologists in this country. Now we are approaching 80. So the training is ongoing, but it can be faster. The patients to operate on, they are there. They are numerous. Our challenge has always been the theater space, anesthesia, and sometimes nursing. putting a finger in your rectum to feel the back of your prostate is very important. Some men don't like it, but you see, that one requires only gloves and Vaseline. Instead of doing the MRI, sometimes when we discuss with the patient that should we do the rectal examination on you, and he finds it uncomfortable, we won't push it. We will just request for the MRI for you, which is about 3,000 Ghana cedis.
Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaji, highlighted the urgent need for strengthened measures to address these gaps in care.
Clearly, this is a preventable condition. If you screen early and detect early and you're able to contain it before it gets there. So the key challenge for us is that how do we ensure that we reduce the burden by early detection and early treatment so that we don't get into people dying in their early ages. That is one. We also need to ensure that we encourage the people to make themselves available for screening.
The fight against prostate cancer requires strategies involving awareness, early detection and improved treatment.
We are your election command center. Let's do some politically related stories now. And President Akufo-Addo has appealed to the chiefs and people of the Upper West region to give their overwhelming support to the Vice President and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to break the 8. He said that breaking the 8 and having the number 8 is not a good sign, in a way to shade the NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama.
According to the president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the ideal candidate to succeed him, considering his exceptional performance and loyalty. Addressing chiefs, traditional and religious leaders in Wa, as part of his goodbye tour as president, he said the NPP's track record of development and governance should inspire confidence in the party's ability to continue transforming the country under Bawumia's leadership. He added, John Mahama can keep the number 8, but what is important to the NPP is to break the 8.
These nearly 20 years that I have been working with Muhammadu Bawumia, I have not had one day, one occasion to doubt his loyalty, to doubt his commitment to our common cause. And I've come here to ask you for your support. Make Bawumia break the 8. I see that the former president is saying all kinds of things about the number 8 that he chose. That it means he's going to win. Well, breaking the 8 and having the number 8, that's not a good sign at all. Our game is to break the 8, and you picked the 8. That is very simple.
Touching on elections and handing over power, President Akufo-Addo highlighted the importance of the elections and assured them that he would do everything possible to hand over power in peace as he received in 2017.
Everything is going to be done by my government and myself to make sure that the elections of December 7th are going to be free, fair, and transparent. Everybody with the power of the vote and the thumb will have a say in determining who will be the next president and who will be the next member of parliament in your area. As president, I cannot impose anybody on you. I don't have the power and I don't have the interest. I want the decision, just as I was elected. The next person to stand here in my shoes will also be elected by the people of Ghana.
Away from the Upper West region, the Communications Directorate of the Jubilee House has dispelled speculations surrounding the health condition of the President's Secretary, Nana Bidatu Asante. A statement released this afternoon reads, following the conclusion of the meeting of the 79th UN General Assembly in New York in the United States of America, where he served as a key member of President Akufo-Addo's delegation, Nana Bidatu Asante stayed behind to conduct further government business. He then then began to feel unwell and was subsequently admitted to hospital. He's currently in stable condition and responding well to treatment. According to the medical team, Nana Bidie Asante's recovery is on track and they remain hopeful for his swift return to full strength. They ask for continued prayers and support for him and his family during this difficult period, the statement added. This was signed by Eugene Ahin, Director of Communications at the Office of the President.
And still on politics, Member of Parliament for Bodi, Samson, he says that the New Patriotic Party can no longer brag with breaking the 8 slogan because the NDC flag bearer, John Mahama, has arrested the 8. He charged constituents to vote for John Mahama as president so he could fix the cocoa roads, which he says have been abandoned by the NPP government. He was speaking when Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman visited Bodi as part of her campaign tour in the Western North region.
All the credible opinion polls have predicted that NDC is going to win. And so because of that, the NPP and government have started publishing fake opinion polls that have no methodology, opinion polls where you cannot find the people who did the research. And so ignore all those fake opinion polls. Everything indicates, and every credible institution, Economic Intelligence Unit, Fish Solutions, Global Info Analytics, every proper, credible opinion poll shows that NDC is going to win the election. But of course, we must not be complacent. We must protect every single person's vote. And that is why I say, in this election, all of us are going to be polling agents. We're not going to select just 2 polling agents to go and sit there, and the rest of us go home and sleep. We would stay there until every vote is counted, and the result is declared before we go to bed. So from the 7th to the 9th of December, none of us is going to sleep. We're going to be awake till every single vote is counted, until the Electoral Commissioner, Madame Jean Mensah, declares that NDC has won the 7th December election. Everything indicates that NDC is going to win the election of 7th December 2024. Every region I have been to have given us the assurance that they are going to change the government on 7th December 2024 and bring the NDC back to come and continue the good work that we were doing when we had the reins of government.
So that story was rather about the flag bearer of the NDC accusing government and its ruling NPP of creating fake opinion polls to hoodwink voters into believing they are winning the December elections. Let's continue with the rest of our stories and go to the Ashanti region, where the Asantehene has tasked independent presidential candidate Alan Tremantin and his team to conduct their campaign devoid of insightful comments. Otumfuo say to the second rather expect the leader of Alliance for Revolutionary Change to focus on selling his encouraging messages and developmental plans he has for the country to the electorates.
Campaign train for Alan Tremantin and his team makes a stop in the Ashanti region. A tour to 350 communities in 47 constituencies begin from October 2 to October 20. But before moving to the communities, a courtesy call on the overlord of the Asanteman at the Menchia Palace had to be done. Alan also presented his running mate to Otumfuo to seek for his blessings and guidance as they begin a 19-day campaign duty in the Ashanti region. No one can become president if the person has no voting support in the Ashanti region. So the people of the region must not be ignored when it comes to developmental projects. I know chiefs are not supposed to do politics, but chieftaincy itself is politics. So you must vote for the one who can turn things around and better the lives of your people. I want to ensure we practice governance of national unity, so we develop the nation as one people.
Government of national unity.
The Asantino Otumfuo Tutu II was impressed with the transformational plan of the movement. He, however, wants the team to market their message well to convince voters.
Oba krata me remu ekura ne nsem o kan no me kan si nanso nsem wo mu a wo kan no de sampa se krata de nani so ade nyina ni de na che ke bese Ghana pa.
If only the plan in this book can all be executed, then our problems as a country would be solved. Alan is my grandson, so if he is seeking for my support, then he has it. All I expect from him is to ensure his messages reach all electorates in a well-explained manner, because they are the ones who will vote. I'm just hoping for a better Ghana. Conduct your campaign without speaking against your political opponents. Leading member of the alliance, Akwesi Ade-Odike, said they are leaving no stone unturned in their quest to secure overwhelming votes in the Ashanti region.
Otoko Koswo has welcomed us into Ashanti region. He has given us his blessings, and we are going to hit the ground running. And trust me, we will enter every community to spread the message.
Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi. Now, a group calling itself Concerned Citizens of Ghana say all is set for their 3-day street protest against the arrest and detention of Democracy Hub protesters. The 3-day protest is also aimed at calling on government to declare a state of emergency against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey.
We've notified the police, we've written to them, we had a meeting with them. They took us through the routes, literally drove us through the entire route so that they are aware where we are going. And you notice this evening they have put out an official statement announcing to the general public that there is going to be a demonstration. These are the routes that we'll be using, so it's a way of informing the public that these are the routes we'll be taking. Let people be informed, and they've outlined their role as the police, and also outlined the role of organizers for the protest.
So solid.
Yes. Yes.
The numbers are looking at.
So we are looking at over 3,000, and we hope for more people to join. Really, the more the number, the clearer the message that will be sent to the government.
Simply put, what's the main call for these protests?
The main call for the protest is for Galamsey to stop now. For Galamsey to stop now. Second, for our brothers and sisters who have been arrested to be freed. The way they are being treated is unfair, unjust, and that is not the way to go. Their crime is for speaking up against Galamsey, so we are asking for them to be freed. That is it.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. We have the latest in the world of business with Michael Obodu right after this.
You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Pepsodent.
I see, Monsieur Namid 200 Ghana could also sister. Buy your 5 cities and 40 Ghana. Hey, Take one container your 40 to 50 pesos and not 20 Ghana. And at the entry, or look at 30 Ghana. Aday, on my bay money away.
Oh, so Casa, me show Dean. Sha, Docura me the 20 Ghana. Ah, me pay for me 15 Ghana cedi a day. On my bay near woman, ya call ya not your sabai.
Share, and yet Diane Bonkuan Kosuru. John Dramani Mahama time. Smith 1 bag. Near 24 Ghana cedis. Men Konto Smith 1 bagger. Yes, say a 108 cedis. I don't Ross, a beton saying. It is the say, who see Diane. Say, and I'll be say. John Dramani Mahama Mama Gia. Yabewo,
Yana Bibian from Wakombe Queen.
I'll come in the end queen. You better fire 100 pa. No people are buying. What dear more Ankasa, media minimum how. No media, measure my system, number 12.
And yes, sanity, dear. A year Kufu than any bow mea. Yamia Domine said December 7. Drura. You be true, Master said you to buy. You be true, Ankasa.
Shall was sit no more to Abapa. A this Sakraya Papa Bebawa Brabum. To Abama John Mahamani NDC.
Sanlam and Allianz is now Sanlam Allianz, Africa's largest insurer.
Hey guys, so I got this app. It's called Ayoba. It's a chat app that helps me with beauty tips and cooking tips. A super app that feeds me music and the latest sports content. I even use it for my studies. And the good news is, I don't need to use my data bundle because I'm on MTN. Chale, the app just did be.
Ayoba, the all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, read, play, pay, and listen. Use Ayoba at no data cost on MTN. Download Ayoba now.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. Now, Ghana's inflation rate reversed its downward trend in September, jumping to 21.5% from 20.4% the previous month. The unexpected increase, the first in 6 months, raises concerns about the accuracy of policymakers' forecast of slowing price growth by the end of the year.
This increase defies expectations as the central bank had anticipated a continued slowdown in inflation, prompting a 200 basis point interest rate cut to 27% last week. The Bank of Ghana had projected inflation would ease to 13 to 17% by year end. According to government statistician Professor Samuel Kobnainim, the main driver of the increase was food prices.
Food inflation recorded a higher rate of 22.1%, while non-food inflation recorded 20.9% for the month of September 2024. While we are seeing an increasing rate for food inflation by 3.0 percentage points between August 2024 and September 2024, we see a marginal decline for non-food inflation as it declined by 0.6 percentage points from 21.5% in August 2024 to 20.9% in September 2024.
Consumer prices for locally produced items were higher than that of imported items in the month of September.
From a locally produced item perspective and an imported item perspective, we recorded a 6.4 percentage point difference between inflation for locally produced items, which stood at 23.4%, relative to 17.0% for inflation for imported items.
Now, economist Professor John Gachi is calling for a stronger monitoring mechanism for tax exemptions in Ghana. He emphasizes that while a monitoring law exists, its lack of clarity leaves it vulnerable to manipulation and corruption.
Concerns about the abuse of Ghana's tax exemptions have been consistent, with the World Bank highlighting their detrimental impact on revenue generation. Professor Gachi urges that the country cannot continue on this path and stresses the need for stringent measures to ensure tax exemptions are granted judiciously.
Any tax exemption we are granting free of charge. People would collect the tax exemption, spend it without being accountable to anybody. The state should be sure that it's going to get the return in terms of job creation, technology transfer, in terms of sustainability of the businesses.
Professor Gachi also expressed skepticism regarding the government's reported 3% import cover.
Assuming in reality we need to fall on the international reserve for our import, part will not be available. So you should need to take away that part. And then when you take away that part, it's able to give you the 3-month import cover that the IMF put in place for the program. But as it is, it's not up to the 3-month import cover.
Professor Gachi made these remarks during the inaugural public lecture series by Financial Forum themed Ghana's Pain Points.
Now, away from that, the CEO of Telecel Ghana, Patricia Obonai, has attributed the rising cost of data in the country to the high cost of doing business. Despite Ghana being one of the countries with the cheapest data rates in the sub-region, many Ghanaians feel that data prices have increased significantly in recent times. Speaking on the sidelines of the Digital and Innovation Week in Accra, Madame Obonai emphasized the need for collective efforts to address the concerns of industry players to make data more affordable for consumers.
The industry, well, we have always said that we carry over 20% of everything we generate going to taxes, and if you pay corporate tax, then you're about 40%. And so there's opportunity, whilst everybody's talking about the cost of data, to look at the inputs, to look at the cost of bringing in equipment, because 70–80% of what we use here are imported. And so if there's so much duty on that, then it makes it very difficult for us to reduce the cost. There's electricity, there's water, the general cost of production is high. And so it's a collective conversation that we need to have to see how every stakeholder contributes to us reducing the cost of data.
Now, Rana Motors has unveiled 2 models, the all-new Hyundai Mighty EX8 and Hyundai County New Breeze in Accra. The Hyundai models are designed with focus on functionality, safety, comfort, and value for money. The Hyundai County New Breeze is designed with features prioritizing durability, efficiency, and passenger comfort. It comes in standard, long, and extra.
The shared goal of delivering the high-quality commercial vehicle in Ghana. Hyundai Motor Company, same as Hyundai Truck and Bus, is globally recognized for its own innovation, reliability, and sustainability. We are always pushing the boundaries of technologies and engineering to offer superior solutions.
The Hyundai Mighty, a commercial vehicle, is perfect for businesses needing a reliable and powerful workhorse. It boasts of impressive features such as its D4 family of diesel engines, providing the ultimate level of efficiency. The Mighty EX8 offers a longer wheelbase, allowing for a spacious deck measuring 4,850 millimeters to enhance cargo transportation, logistics, and delivery services. Chief Operating Officer at Rana Motors, Kasim Odemat, revealed that the Mighty is built for fuel efficiency and durability to maximize production.
If you're looking for durability, you're looking for a long-term working horse, you'll pick the Hyundai trucks and buses. At purchase, the customers come to buy from us. Even for us internally, we do some financing, but on a short-term financing. Try as much as possible to help our customers, even by giving short-term facilities.
Hyundai Mighty. The Mighty is here. There are calls for homegrown solutions to address Ghana's high unemployment challenge. At the sidelines of an entrepreneurship fair organized by his outfit, coordinator of the Ghana Report Jobs and Entrepreneurship Fair, Adib Sani, emphasized the importance of placing relevance on TVET, equipping young people with skills which will nurture their talents for the future, while also reducing unemployment in Ghana.
Innovation is the way to go. The world is rapidly changing. And so if you don't have your educational system suited to conform with the rapidly changing nature of the world, you might lag behind. That is why we think that focus should be placed on the TVETs, on the STEMs. So at least these young people would be equipped with the technical know-how to be able to find something to do for themselves. So they don't have to complete school and be hopping from one office to another looking for jobs.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Up next, sports.
How can we solve the unemployment crisis in Ghana? Yes, Masa.
By using the formula 133.
Can you expatiate?
Say, this simply means 1 job, 3 shifts, 3 people. That is the Mahama 24-hour economy policy. Under this policy, businesses will be given tax incentives, cheaper electricity, financial support, and security support services to encourage them to work 24/7 by adopting 3 work shifts of 8 hours each. This will triple job opportunities in the country. This policy will boost production, increase productivity, and generate well-paying jobs in all participating businesses and public organizations. Ejumanu obi afeyebi.
Excellent. The 24-hour policy will be a game changer.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Avoiding injuries, easy. Winning, easy, Charlie. But you know what be easy now? Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted granules. Just add water, then sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy, made easy. Gary at the top. Now we are 10 star boy. Still Gary at the top. I travel go abroad. Kibo Gary at the top. Kibo Gary. He the bio. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Hore Kwampo. We do start off from Ghana football, where the Ghana Football Association has announced that the Confederation of African Football has granted temporary approval of the Accra Sports Stadium for Ghana's next home match against Sudan in the 2025 AFCON qualifier, which is slated for October 11, 2024. It will be Ghana's first competitive game in Accra since March 2021, where they beat Sao Tome and Principe by 3-1. General Manager for MG Sports, Michael Otieje, believes this should serve as a lesson for the country.
We can't continue to let facilities like Sipon, like Tamale. I've seen pictures from Tamale where officials are passing pictures around and videos around, literally sometimes to pat themselves on the back for a brilliant job done in renovating the pitches and the rest. And I'm wondering, what is this even about? You know, so I really hope that this changes and that this scare becomes something that's so. We'll have another conversation later about the football side of it, why this game is important, and why it's important for Accra fans to give the Blacks That's the absolute best of support. But having escaped the ignominy of playing our match away from home, I really do hope, and I think the hope of a lot of sports fans, sports journalists, everybody, is that this will become the absolute big wake-up call that the National Sports Authority and their supervisors, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, need to take the management of the stadium seriously and to take especially the welfare of the players seriously in providing the best pitches for the country to play its international matches on, so that we don't go through this embarrassing episode again.
We stay in Ghana, but this time head to Obuasi, where Asante Kotoko beat Nsachiman FC in the outstanding game on Wednesday afternoon at the Lenkley Sports Stadium. Now, after a goalless first half, Kotoko's Elvis Chebafo got their only goal in the 47th minute. However, Yao Perko's side ended the game with just 10 men after Daniel Amo was sent off in the 78th minute. The win sends the Porcupine Warriors to second spot on the league log with 8 points so far after 4 games, while Nsachiman, on the other hand, sits 15th with 3 points. Well, from the Ghana Premier League, let's head to Europe, where there's UEFA Champions League action. Just a reminder, there's still the league phase, so a number of games being played this week. So far, we've had 2 matches played already, where Atalanta being very dominant against Shakhtar. Lukman getting a goal and assist in that game. And then Feyenoord left it late, winning by 3-2. They almost let slip off their 2-1 lead, but end up scoring the winner in the second half, very late in that one. These are games that are currently being played in the UEFA Champions League. Aston Villa versus Bayern Munich. It's the first time Aston Villa are playing UEFA Champions League football in more than 40 years. That game is still without a goal. Benfica lead Atletico Madrid 1-0. Dinamo Zagreb also lead Monaco by 1-0. Lille have taken a surprising lead against defending champions Real Madrid. Liverpool lead Bologna by 1-0. Leipzig also lead Juventus by 1-0, as Club Brugge are also leading 1-0 against Sturm Graz. Let's talk about football transfers, where former Arsenal goalkeeper Wojciech Szczesny has joined Barcelona until the end of the season, just over a month since he retired. Now, former international who played for Poland, Szczesny, announced the retirement on August 27 after his contract with Juventus was terminated. Now, Barcelona lost their first-choice goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen due to a serious knee injury in their 5-1 victory against Villarreal last month. La Liga regulation permits clubs to sign free agents outside the transfer window to replace players with injury layoffs longer than 4 months. Szczesny made 181 appearances for Arsenal after joining as a 16-year-old, and also has stints at Brentford, Roma and Juventus. Well, that's how we're wrapping up the sports here on News360. You can get some more updates on our social media handles at 3SportsGH, especially with the Champions League games currently ongoing. My name is Ore Kwampov, and up next on the bulletin is entertainment.
Well, it's now time for entertainment news with the pride of the Ashanti region, Efriye. How are you doing?
Please, I'm well by God's grace.
Oh, and how are you preparing for Sunday's finale?
I'm putting all the energy and the strength I have so that I can give out my best.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So bring us entertainment. Okay. Good evening. My name is Efriye, proudly representing the Ashanti region in this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful. And this is the entertainment segment. The enviable GMB crown is currently with the Volta region. And any idea where it is heading next? Well, The pride of the Savannah region, Titiaka, is confident that the enviable crown is next destined for her region.
I am Mam Jarambojiai, the most powerful Wolof Marabu. We, the Wolof, are the largest ethnic group in Senegal, the country of hospitality, Pays de la Teranga.
Born Niha Titiaka Ibrahim Oasis, the native of Kibrikpe is a go-getter with a sight set on the GMB crown.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about making a positive impact in the society. And guess what? Ghana's Most Beautiful is one of the biggest platforms to achieve this. So it has always been my dream to represent my region in Ghana's Most Beautiful, not just to only showcase the rich cultural heritage in my region, but also to inform, educate, and entertain Ghanaians.
The GMB experience has been an amazing learning curve for the final year law students of the University of Professional Studies, UPSA.
Ghana's Most Beautiful is a very big platform, and it will mold you into becoming a queen, with or without the crown. And one thing that I've learned from my Ghana's Most Beautiful journey is that nothing imaginable is beyond achieving. If you can imagine it, if you can dream it, then you can be it. I am a descendant of the spear holder, founder of the ancient Gonja kingdom, Ndewu Rajakpa, a warrior king. I am here dressed in my beautiful maiden Savannah outfits.
The poster girl for determination has so far been fantastic, marketing her region, its beautiful attractions and culture. Reaching the GMB Grand Finale is certainly a great feat, and Titiaka is all braced up to pull a sweet surprise at the 2024 final. Thoughts of the historic feat and the pride attached to it urges her on to push harder to win the coveted crown for the first time for her region.
Titiaka is bringing her all to the Grand Finale by the grace of Allah, because we have to get Savannah region as first ever Ghana's Most Beautiful crown. So I'm coming with my all. Get ready to see an advanced Titiaka, a Titiaka Pro Max, Titiaka that you've never seen before. So still, I'll need your prayers and your blessings and your votes to make this a reality.
She intends to leverage on the exposure that comes with winning GMB to positively impact society.
So the project that I intend to embark on is on climate action. It is our duty to come together to protect and preserve our environment, not just for our generation, but also for the future generation as well. So vote for Titiaka to make this a reality.
Okay, so certainly that's it for entertainment. What should your fans expect from you, and what is the message for them?
Okay, so I would love to take this opportunity to solicit for votes. But first, I will say a very big thank you to each and everyone out there who's still supporting me. But please, let's keep on pushing, because this is the last chance for us to bring the crown to the Ashanti region. Let's all dial the short code *713*13#, or you can download the MG Reality app on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Or you can also follow up on my social media handles with the name @FreeA_GMB24. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Efri. Wishing you all the best on Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Well, coming up, international news.
Dozens of people are feared dead after a boat capsized in north-central Nigeria. According to Niger State Emergency Management Agency head Abdullah Baba Ara, the boat was ferrying more than 300 passengers on the River Niger when it overturned on Tuesday night. Around 60 bodies have so far been recovered from the scene, with 150 people rescued alive so far. Most of the boat's passengers were women and children on their way to celebrate the Muslim festival of Mawlid. Israeli military and Hezbollah reports ground fighting inside southern Lebanon a day after Israel announced it was invading. The IDF says it is using precision-guided munitions and close-range engagements inside Lebanon. It later reports the deaths of 8 Israeli soldiers in combat, the first inside Lebanon since the invasion began. Earlier, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Iran would pay after Iran fired around 180 missiles at Israel on Tuesday. Lebanese officials say more than 1,000 people have been killed in the past 2 weeks, whilst around 1 million may now be displaced.
And that's it for the bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu Date.
And I am Portia Gabo. Do join Alfredo Cancer at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.
La 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 la.